for sale. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on the top of his head. First, he had his own checked cap, then he had a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of blue caps, then a bunch of brown caps, and at the very top he had a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight so not to upset his caps. And as he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap," but nobody wanted any caps. Nobody even wanted a red cap. So he began to feel hungry, but he did not have money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said, and he walked out of the town slowly, slowly, so not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "It's a nice place for a rest," thought he, and he slowly sat down under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put his hand out to feel if they were straight. First he felt his check cap, then he felt the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and the very top the red caps. They were there, so he slept. He slept a very long time. He woke up and he was refreshed and rested. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure the caps were still in the right place. He felt his own checked cap. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Then he looked up in the tree, and what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey there was a gray cap, or brown cap, a blue cap, or a red cap. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Then he spoke to them. "You, monkeys, you," he said, shaking the finger at them, "you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "Tsk, tsk, tsk, tsk." This made the peddler angry. He shook both hands at them and said, "You, monkeys, you, give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their hands at them and said, "Tsk, tsk, 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 tsk." Now he felt quite angry. He stomped his foot and he said, "You, monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stomped their feet and said, "Tsk, tsk, 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 tsk." By this time the peddler was really, really angry. He stomped both feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you must give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stomped both feet and said, "Tsk, tsk, 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 tsk," back at him. At last he became so angry that he pulled off his very own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap and threw it on the ground. All of the gray caps, all of the brown caps, all of the blue caps, all of the red caps came flying out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his cap, put that on his head. First he put his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and on the top the very red caps. And slowly, slowly, he walked back into town calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap."